Healing doesn't start with fixing everything. It actually starts with one brave choice. Let me share it with you.
Elevate with Monique. Elevate. Elevate with Monique. Elevate.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Gracefully Elevating with Monique. And you already know I'm your hostess. Now, in the month of October, we are talking about the chapters from my very first book project, Peace Beyond Your Pain, which I'm super excited about. And we are talking about the ways in which I journeyed through finding peace beyond very painful and traumatic experiences that I experienced in my life as a child and into my adulthood. The reality is that there was no blueprint for me to go through as I was looking for answers, looking for ways to fix myself, right? But what I realized is that it really wasn't about fixing myself in order to find that peace. It was really about acknowledging the things that had happened, um, taking ownership for my parts that I played in the way that my life was at that time, and being willing to do the work, the hard work that it took for me to be able to transform that phase of my life. And so I want to share that with you because in many cases there are people that are going through these same experiences and they feel alone, or they feel like there's no hope, or they don't know what to do. And so if that is you and you find yourself in a season where you are repeating cycles, or you don't necessarily love where you are right now, I want to share Peace Beyond Your Pain with you in hopes that you can find some ways and some strategies to actually do the work to find that peace. So with that being said, I want to talk about one of the chapters in the book, which is When Healing Began. Now, when you read the book, you will learn that I went through various phases in my life. And for me, when I started to recognize that this process was taking place, I was totally isolated. I had been stripped away from everything that I once knew at that time in my life. And that's not everybody's same story, right? You don't have to go through those extremes in many cases. But what I will say is, what I know about my God is that if we don't listen when He is trying to get our attention, when He is trying to pull us out of certain places in our lives, He will start to remove certain things to get our attention. And unfortunately, that was my story. It was in isolation that my healing started. And at first, when that happened, I was angry. I was mad at God because I couldn't understand why He would allow me to go through this point of isolation when I was already down at the bottom of the bottom and just didn't have anything else. And so now He's taking the people away. He's taking, the job away. He's taking those things away. But what I realized is that was the very best thing that God could have done for me in order to guide me through this process of healing. Now, let me say this. Everyone's journey of healing looks different. In some cases, you may need counseling. In some cases, you actually may need to get yourself to a safe place in order to be able to change your surroundings. I'm not discounting that. What I am talking about right now is the internal compass that may be pulling you inside to say, I need you to sit with this for a little while. I need you to listen to what it is that this is trying to say to you in this season in order for you to start the healing process. Sis, listen, we don't have any more time to waste. We don't have time to continue to patch over and suppress the things that are weighing us down and keeping us from our next level. You have greatness inside of you. You deserve to experience life in a peaceful, meaningful, abundant way. And peace beyond your pain can be one of the guides to help you in that process. Healing is layered. And what I mean by that is you may have experienced a level of healing in certain areas of your lives. I know that for me, I'll give you a perfect example. Um, when I was going through my healing process as it related to my mother, I I had experienced a level of healing in the sense that I didn't look for validation from that motherly figure anymore, right? So that part of my healing I had mastered. But healing is really interesting. It's kind of like an onion. And you can peel back that first layer and then there's another layer. And so my next layer of healing in that aspect was learning how to be able to be genuine in my interaction with my mother, even though I had said out of my mouth that I had forgiven her. And God started to deal with my heart, and He showed me in some cases that that was another layer of healing that I needed to go through. And so that was a new layer that I had to focus on by sitting with myself, listening to what it was that God was downloading, and then going in and addressing that. You cannot be afraid of the layers of healing that may need to take place. In fact, I would submit to you that you almost want to anticipate the fact that there's going to be several layers to your healing, depending on the magnitude. If you dealt with abandonment or some sort of abuse or neglect or, things that are deeply seated, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get all the healing that you need in one sitting. 9 times out of 10, it's going to take time. It's going to take you revisiting it. It might even take you ripping off that band-aid that you have placed over that wound for so long. So don't be afraid of that process. Be gracious to yourself. Ask God to really give you the fortitude to not stop, to not give up, to not throw in the towel and say, forget this, I don't have time for it, I'm not doing it. It can be rough. A healing journey can be rough, and I believe that that is why a lot of times people just run from it and they live their whole lives suppressing the pain that they really could take the time to heal in order to have another layer or another level of elevation in their lives. I don't want that to be you, sis. And I don't want you to think that for a second that this is a end all be all situation. It is a lifelong journey, but you can find peace. You can find peace as you are healing, and you can find peace beyond the pain that you have experienced. I'm sorry that you experienced that pain in your life. I'm sorry that I experienced the pain that I did in my life. But may I submit to you that perhaps the reason we went through the things that we went through was to create a better version of who we are. Perhaps the reason we went through what we went through is because God knew that we could handle it and that it was going to build the character that we needed in order to be a light, in order to share with other people and help to bring them along in their journey. I don't know. That's what I believe. And that helped me to really identify the ways in which I needed to get beyond that offense. I needed to get beyond that pain. I just simply couldn't live that life anymore. I didn't like what it was producing in my life. I was broke. I was angry. I was repeating these cycles. I was not operating at my highest level, and I didn't like that. And I'm pretty sure that if you are in that place, you can understand where I'm coming from. So, that being said, I want you to ask yourself, what is the area right now in my life that I need to heal? or that I need to sit with, and even identify what is needed in that particular area. What do you need? What's your wake-up call? And then I want you to just write that down. And then the other thing I want you to do is find the link somewhere in this video, grab your copy of Peace Beyond Your Pain, the book and the workbook, so that you can really start to navigate or continue to navigate this journey, so you can find that peace that you're looking for as we are continuing to elevate in our lives. Now, if you can do me a favor, in the comments below, drop one word that sums up what resonated with you in this video. Just one word. One word that really sums up that you got it, that you understand that this is necessary on your journey. And then I want you to like this video, share it with a friend, even consider subscribing to the channel if this type of content resonates with you. I know it's not the most attractive thing to talk about. Yes, we're going to still continue to talk about feminine power and frequency and all of those things, but I need you to get this in your spirit. Healing it's vital. It's essential for you to sustain the next level of your personal elevation. And I am rooting for you. So I will see you in the next video. Oh, if this is your first time dropping by the channel, I want to say, what's up, sis? Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. If you are a returning viewer, subscriber, I want to say welcome back. I appreciate you. I love you. In this month, we are talking about ways in which we are finding the peace beyond our pain so that we can continue to elevate. So I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
Elevate with Monique.